Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. B760 is finally here and we've got a board from MSI today, an MATX board, the B760M Mortar Wi-Fi. As usual with our motherboard content, these videos are not reviews, they're just overviews so we can take a bit of a look at what's physically on a board like this and what comes in the box with a brand new board like this as well. But spoiler alert, there is almost nothing in the box with these brand new boards. And I have to talk about this as well. We don't know about pricing, availability, or any of that stuff right now. I will update the description when we get that information, but let's dive in and take a look at this brand new board from MSI for Intel's 13th gen CPUs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the MSI MAG B760M Mortar Max Wi-Fi. Let's do our usual thing. Let's get that motherboard out of the box so we can take a bit of a closer look at everything that comes in the box with a brand new motherboard like this one. All right, first up, we've got some documentation. We've got the quick installation guide and the European Union guide for regulatory stuff. I don't know why the European version of this is in the box because I'm in Australia, so yeah, it probably doesn't apply to me, but maybe it does. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Next up, we've got the M.2 screws and clips. These are spares that come with the motherboard in case you break one or you want to change one over. There's also the antennas for the built-in Wi-Fi 6E that is on this motherboard. Given that it's the Max Wi-Fi, it has Wi-Fi, right? Makes sense. And we've also got a single SATA or SATA cable for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning RUS drives. One thing I will mention though is there's only a single cable, so it means that most people are going M.2. There's also this sheet of stickers to help you label all the cables in your brand new system. All right, let's unsheath the B760M Mortar Max Wi-Fi and take a bit of a closer look at everything that is physically on this board. First up, we've got the front panel audio header. There's a 4-pin 12-volt RGB header, 2 PWM fan headers. There's also a Thunderbolt header if you wanted to use a Thunderbolt add-in card, a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB header, 2 USB 2.0 headers for things like liquid coolers and RGB controllers and all that jazz. There's 2 SATA or SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning RUS drives. There's a TPM header and the front panel header for your lights on your switches to let you know your system's up and running, and another PWM fan header. There's 4 more SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning RUS drives, a front panel USB 3.2 header, a USB Type-C front panel header, the 24-pin power connector to send juice to your brand new board, a postcode LED array for diagnosing your system if you're having any issues when you're booting up, and 2 more PWM fan headers on the top right hand side of the board, as well as 1 more RGB header. Now, there's 2 8-pin EPS power connectors to send juice to your 12th or 13th gen Intel CPU, and there's also another PWM fan header above the M.2 slot. This board features a single PCIe Gen 5x16 slot. There's also a PCIe Gen 4x4 slot and a PCIe Gen 3x1 slot on the board as well. For the VRM layout on this board, it features a 12+1+1 phase duet rail power system with 70 amp power stages, and as you can see, the heatsink is the whole I/O cover as well as the big heatsink at the top of the board. Now, this board actually has one trick up its sleeve that you might not find on other B series boards. Now, this board has its own clock generator. And what that means is you can overclock your K-SKU CPUs on a B series motherboard. This is something that MSI has been doing for about 1.5 years now. Speaking of, if you've never seen inside that LGA 1700 socket, here it is. And on the back of the board, there's not heaps of stuff going on back here, but yeah, it is nice to show you guys what's happening. For RAM, this board supports up to 4 DDR5 RAM modules, up to 128 gigs in total at 7,000 megatransfers overclocked. All right, let's get the heat sinks off the board so we can take a bit of a closer look at the M.2 situation here. Now, this board features only 2 M.2 slots, and they're both PCIe Gen 4 M.2 slots. So yeah, 2 drives in total, 1 and 2, right? Now, there's also a clip that will help you clip the drive in, so you don't actually need to use any screws for the M.2 drives on this board. And for rear I/O, we've got a bunch of USB Type-A ports, DisplayPort, HDMI. We've got a USB Type-C port, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, more USB 3.2, the antenna connectors for the built-in Wi-Fi 6E, and 7.1 digital surround sound with optical and SPDIF output. output with an integrated I/O shield. ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this first look and overview of this brand new board from MSI. As mentioned in the intro, we don't know about pricing or availability or whatnot, but in terms of the features, this is actually very similar to the B660M that we covered a little while ago. And in terms of the feature set with the B760M Mortar Max Wi-Fi, it's kind of similar to what we saw with the B660M version, and we actually received the Max version of the B660 board that supported overclocking, but we didn't cover it because it came so late in the release cycle. Now, when I'm talking about late in the release cycle, I'm talking about the B660 version of this board arrived in December, which is insane to me considering we received this also in December. Bit confusing, but yeah, an interesting board nonetheless. Now, in terms of pricing and availability, as I mentioned, we've got no idea how much this thing's going to cost or whether or not you're going to be able to buy it anytime soon. But if I had to speculate, I would say this is probably going to be around the $209 US mark. We've seen that with a lot of these MATX boards, especially the Max variants that support interesting things like overclocking. Now, again, back to pricing and whatnot, I'll put a updated description once we know, and I'll put a pinned comment down there so you can peruse that if you're watching this in like 6 months time. Anyways, guys, if you like these motherboard overviews, let us know in the comments and let us know what you think of B760. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you like videos like this, make sure you get yourself subscribed, smash the like button. It actually really does help if you do all those things, because then the algorithm gets told what to do, and the system of all the algorithms and all the machine learnings and all that stuff recommends our videos. But if you didn't like it, also hit the like button, because the dislike button doesn't do anything. If you like the music you heard here, I make all the music. It's available by clicking that join button down there down below. If you want early access to videos like this one right here, all right, head on over to Floatplane. We're on Floatplane. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. I'm speaking really fast because I just had a coffee. You peek, we seek. And yeah, let us know what you think about B760 and if it's something you're going to be looking at, or yeah, you know how we do. CES time, busy time of the year. Thanks for watching.